Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, October the 31st, 2016. Happy Halloween, everyone. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap Futures, and each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There is no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to during the pre-market session, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, let's just deal with this cup and handle that I posted. We've got a cup and handle on the 5-minute. I posted it as we were coming up to test the rim line. The main target was 2128.75. We have hit the main target. Make sure you're scaled out here, and then the extended target is up here at the 2129.75. So not a real big one, but something that should have paid you by now, and that's what we're all about here. Okay, let's take a look at the news. We did have some news today. We had Canadian RMPI and IPPI came out a little bit worse than expected, and just as about as expected. Core PCE price index came out as expected. Personal spending came out as expected, and personal income. So basically, hit target. And then 9:45, we've got Chicago PMI coming up, and that's all times Eastern. And then tentative, we've got loan officer survey, and we do have some news coming out tonight during the Globex, most specifically the Bank of Japan outlook report and the policy rate. So this should move the markets tonight in the Globex. In terms of news this week, tomorrow we've got Canadian GDP, final manufacturing PMI for U.S., ISM manufacturing, construction spending. So a fair amount of news tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, that's where we get the FOMC statement. So this will be the big day. And then moving on, we've got on the 3rd, we've got unemployment claims, and then of course on Friday we've got the non-farm employment change. So fairly a lot of news coming out this week schedule-wise, but again, the big news is going to be the U.S. election, the reopening of the Clinton email scandal. Actually, there is some reports, and I'm not claiming that this is to be true, but I've seen it on a couple different places, and they are claiming it to be true, that this goes beyond the email, and it could be a pedophile case. And apparently some sources out of New York are saying that there's a possibility that Clinton, both Bill and Hillary, were involved in some plane flights that involved some child pornography and molestation, but we don't know. It's just conjecture. But let's take a look at Friday. Friday, we were looking for a open auction in range, a move up, a failure to break above the 34, and then a rotation down into the 2075. That was our hypo 1. At first it looked like it was going to play out, and then it looked like we were going to be into hypo 2, and we put in this double top, and we've got a double top up here at 35.25. So we have a week high from Friday. Friday's settlement was 24. It was the same settlement as Thursday's settlement. So we're really in balance. But the key here was right here we had the Hillary news, Comey coming out and putting that letter out to Congress, and this took us down all the way down to 2112.50. The key important thing is we did not get down and break the October low on this news, and since then they've been basing this thing and coming up and balancing in around that 27.50. Overnight has been an inside range. Our high overnight is 2130.50. Our low is 2114.75. So we're really absorbing this news, and it really doesn't, really didn't affect the market as much as we anticipated. Now that can change when we get into the RTH session, but I thought that in the Globex session, coming out, that we'd probably see a move lower on the open, and I had actually said, looking for a quick move down and then a rotation up. And but since then, I was expecting to see us, come down and test these levels again at some point in time, especially when Europe opened, and we didn't get either of that. I mean, our low of the night was put in on the open. I mean, literally within seconds of the open. From there, inventory has been neutral to positive. So they're accepting this news in the Globex, and basically this could be a hint of, everybody says if Trump gets in, that we're likely to see a big sell-off in the S&P and in the markets. This may be giving us a clue that that might not be the case. So just park that as part of your information, that some pretty serious news was unable to keep this market down. And as Marvin put in his radar report this week, the earnings is what seems to be driving this. But let's take a step back and let's just go back, and I like to start my day using a monthly. I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. I'm looking for slope and separation for the strength of the trend, where the trend is being challenged or violated on the time frame, and any type of continuation pattern. Monthly, beautiful multi-year upward trend, great slope, great separation. They challenge at the end of 15, beginning of 16, then they take it right back. They go up and put in new all-time highs. We've got an unadjusted all-time high on the September contract at 91.50, adjusted to 21.85 on the December contract. Got a lot of repair work to do up in those 70s and 80s. So, we're not done with the upside. It's just, what happens in the next 2 weeks. Do we come back down here and challenge the trend again? We do have the monthly holding the 9 and the 20, and we are getting slope and separation. So right now the trend is up on the monthly. On the weekly, you can see that we came to this decision point last week with the MA cross, and so far they've closed down, but we're still within this this consolidation range, and we're just range bound right now. It's a large range, but we are bound and in balance right now. But we are below the 9 and the 20 on the weekly. As we move down to the daily, you can see we do have the start of a downward trend, and that does not get violated until we get back up above the 2138.50 area. Today doesn't get completely violated until we get above 2137, and I'd really be watching the 2139.75. 2139.75 is our monthly critical mass, and we are below it today. So this is going to be an interesting day today, but the trend itself is down on the daily, and again, we're down on the daily, but we're in this larger range, okay, which is basically a symmetrical triangle or a descending wedge, whichever wherever you put your lines. But in both instances, it is consolidation pattern. Moving into the intraday, you can see that we do have this downward channel, on the daily, or sorry, the intraday. So we are moving down, but right now they're coming up and trying to get above the 9. We're losing some slope and separation, but we could very easily fail from either of these two levels. Going down to the 1 hour, again, more consolidation. Again, getting into this consolidation and symmetrical triangle. Going down to the 30-minute, again, same thing, balance, balance, balance. Trying to get above the 20 here, but failing. Going down to the 15-minute. Again, just more balance everywhere. And then on the 5-minute, of course, we had that cup and handle, and has it completely played out. The extended target hasn't been hit, but that's why we use the 61.8 extension as our primary target, and anything above primary is all gravy. That's extended, and just a bonus on this. We are coming back and testing the 9, and right now we're trying to hold above it. We've got possibility of start of an upward trend, but it's still early, and we are coming into the RTH session. We did not break the Globex high, and that's something interesting as well. Is here we are coming into the Globex session, and we're going to be trading near the highs, and possibly with 30 minutes to go and only a couple points off of the overnight high, we could come in and challenge this Globex high on the open. So taking a look at our numbers on the Globex so far, our overnight high is 2130.50, which is 1 tick above the value area. You can see that we are inside of range and inside of value from the prior day. We only dipped down to the overnight low of 1475. So we didn't even get below the low on Friday. And our VPOC is sitting right in the 2650. It's been going back and forth between 2750 and 2650. It's likely to shift again to 2750 because they're so close. So I'm gonna move it to the 2750 because I don't think it will take much more, but we'll adjust this prior to the RTH session to know exactly. I don't think it really means much whether we've got the overnight VPOC at 2750 or 2650. And then we've got a double distribution with this lower distribution HVN at the 20 1/4. That's right at that naked VPOC that we took out, and just below the VPOC from Friday that was at 2075. We've got an LVN here at 23 with the mid at 24. So I'm going to use the 2350 and encompass the 24 and the 23 as a trade level, because if we get below that, I'd be looking for a move down into the VPOC at the 20. We've got our value area low down at the 1775, and there's really not much more information that I need from the Globex, so we'll get rid of that. We'll expand this out right here. You can see we're starting to, let's just take a look at the big picture so we can get an idea here. So I've got the breakout day, okay, which was July the 8th, and I'm running my longer time frame microcomposite, which is this black outline right here, and its VPOC is at that 2153. And then I've started another longer term microcomposite from the breakout day of 099, and its microcomposite VPOC is at the shifted down from the 35 now down to the 33, and then the smaller time frame as well, this balance area we've been in for the last couple of weeks, it's in line with that. Then above, we had these 2 days where we tried to get back up inside of this smaller microcomposite value area. And then below, we've got the last 2 days where they're trying to hold value in around that 27. So the three key levels right here is going to be the 44.50, the 27.50, or 27. You can split the difference between the 26.50 and the 27.50, and then the 33 with a little emphasis on 35 because we just did shift down to the 33. And then the key line in the sand, the key support is still at that 2107, and our month low down at the 2107.75. So in balance, we're creating this distribution zone with some undetermined fair value here and likely to chop around in here some more. If we don't break out of the value area. Our key warning line today is going to be the 23 area. That's that LVN from the Globex. If we get below that, then we might get a move down into the 1575 and take out that that overnight low down at the 14. Remember, this all started with the breakout right here, and the first price we accepted after the breakout is in the 1575.16 level. And we've come down to a couple times. If we come down to it again, they might not find the inventory there from the buyers, and they might have to push an advertised price lower back towards the October low. So what am I looking at? Well, I still see balance, so I'm looking for a rotational day with a downside skew. So we're going to be opening up in balance and in range. So my main hypothesis is an open auction in range, in balance, in value, and a wide opening range and a move up to test the value area high, and somewhere between the value area high and the range high from Friday, I'm looking for responsive sellers to step in and rotate us down towards that 2050, very similar to the trade plan Hypo 1 that we had on Friday, chop around in this area and maybe push down into the 2110 to 2107. But I'm really looking for a push higher in the early session and then push down and just chop around basically between the 33 and the 15 to 10 area, and might even get an inside day today as they try to figure out what's going on. So that's Hypo 1. Hypo 1, open auction in range, a move up, failure to break the range or the value area, find responsive sellers, rotate down, and chop around in the lower distribution from Friday and overnight with maybe a late day probe down into the 10 to 7 area. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a move down into the 2075 and somewhere between the 2075 and the 1775, maybe even the 15s, finding responsive buyers and then rotating us up through and chopping around in the upper distribution between the 43, 44.50 and the 33 area and closing somewhere up here. Our monthly critical mass to the downside, our month open was 2158.75. Our 20-day ATR is running at 1896. So our critical mass, 2158.75 minus 1896, gives us a critical mass to the downside at 2139.75. What does that mean? It means that if we can't get above 2139.75, we are going to have a bearish month. And coming into the close, you're looking to see, do we get capitulation of the bears, of the buyers, and have the bears take over and the sellers get acceleration into the close. That's what critical mass is all about. is if we can't get back up, which is unlikely to get back up to our open of the month, then the hedge fund managers don't care anymore, and do they step aside, and do we see acceleration from or aggressiveness from the sellers? And that's what critical mass is all about, and we're going to be opening up below critical mass. Hypo 3 is an open auction out of range, in range, a move down, finding very strong buyers and moving up into the 39.75, chopping up between the 39.75 and the 44 area, and then having a strong move up into the 53 and maybe up to creating a doji month with a close somewhere around that 21.58.75. So hypo 3 is open auction in range. They move down, find buyers, they get aggressive, they push us up out of range, chop around between the 39.75 and the 44, and then push up into the close and get a doji month and close somewhere close to that 21.58.75, if not slightly above it. Hypo 4 is the opposite. Open auction out of range, chop inside of value, get capitulation, push down through to the 2110 to 2107, and then fail and get our first push down into the close down to the 2100s and close somewhere down in the low 2100s or even into the 2000s. So those are my 4 main hypotheses. It's going to be a rotational day today regardless, so just be careful and don't get stubborn. I think we're going to see some larger harmonic rotations today. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.